When someone dies, we quickly forget their problems, mistakes, and failures. We tend to remember the good and the positive. This video is dedicated to Jeanné Peirce, the man with strengths and weaknesses. He becomes a strong, loving, spiritual man that we miss by learning from his mistakes and failures. Jeanné Peirce was born on October 3rd, 1961. He was born in Swan River, Manitoba, Canada, to Dinty and Linda Shingles. He is Anishinaabe from Alberta, Canada. In 1970, Mitchell and his brother David were adopted by Carol and Richard and moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mitchell grew up in Minneapolis. He went and served in the U.S. Army and then later got married. He became a father and had 2 children. In 1982, he and 3 other buddies were partying and ran out of booze. They decided to rob a house that one of them knew about. An elderly woman in the house was killed. They were all arrested. Two other men, and he received life sentence. In prison, he participated in sweats and pipe ceremonies. He was given his traditional native name, White Thunderbird from the North. He was very honored to become a pipe carrier. He tried to be the best father he could and tried to live up to his responsibilities. In 2005, he started the process of being released from the prison system, a 5-year process for lifers. In May 2008, before he could complete the process, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. Even though he hadn't smoked over 24 years, he underwent the most intensive chemo and radiation therapy available. But it was too late. He was given a year to live.
His nephew Justin, who was like a brother because he was raised with him. My fiance and I have been watching the news off and on for the last couple days. We've been seeing things about this horrible, horrible crime. It was Thanksgiving, and once the phone rings and there's Mitchell on the other end of the line. Hi, Mom. How you doing? Are you sitting down? I need to tell you something. I've been arrested for murder. That's how we found out. When he was in prison, it was really, really hard. We still tried to talk on the phone, but, you know, he'd have 3 minutes, so we couldn't get into all the details about things that we used to talk about. When we'd come, it could only be in certain times. It was distance usually. We could have a quick kiss or hug right at the beginning and a quick kiss or hug right at the end. But then we had to sit apart, no touching. We had to watch what we said with everyone that could be taken the wrong way. So it was a very guarded relationship. I think we still loved each other very much, but we just couldn't get close anymore.
He was up at Stillwater, and that's when I was little, and it'd be a long trip from where we were, and as soon as we see the smokestack, we thought we were almost there, so we were excited, and but as soon as we got into the prison, back then I could sit on his lap, and that was really special. And when I was little, he used to like just play with me and like say how much he loved me and stuff like that. But he got transferred from different places all his life, and so we got to go visit him as often as we could.
Mitchell was very clear about his goals and dreams. He wanted to be the best dad he could be, even though he was in prison. He spent hours talking to his sons. He made a deal with me that any money that I would spend on him normally, that I would spend it on his kids. He was very clear that he wanted to develop his spirituality. He became a pipe carrier and conducted the sweats up at the prison. He was very clear that the last 10 years he was very clear that he wanted to get back with Melody. They had been divorced shortly after he was convicted, and he wanted to get back with her. She was the great love in his life, and he worked towards that. He was very clear that he wanted to do everything he could to make up for the fact that he had made such a horrible mistake. And he really, really wanted to get out so he could live a normal life. Being able to touch him, even if it's just a hug. Being able to see the twinkle in his eyes. He was a very mischievous person in many ways. Had a great sense of humor. Being able to just talk with him. And his smile.
Basically everything about him. His knowledge. How he lived his life.
Just the fact that he was my older brother and I was his younger sister. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
But I guess he's up in heaven with the rest of the family, but I'm happy that he's not in pain anymore. I love you, but I know that that the get your money due up there calls you home too early. On September 17, 2008, Mitchell died from complications of the treatments. Mitchell was welcomed to the next life by grandparents Alfred and Olive Shingus, Robert Peirce, and Theodore Boyette, Sister Dawn Peirce, and uncles Lloyd and Herbie Shingus, and many other relatives that crossed before him. Uncle Mitchell, I love you. I miss you. I will always keep you forever in my heart. See your sweet smile shine through the darkness. It's like